That music reminds me of like old school like loading screens from the 90s. And it of course muted you for some reason. I don't know why, DB.
It just doesn't want me to talk, I guess.
I guess not. I wonder if there's like something in the settings. I have to figure that out. But anyway, good evening, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to another episode of Critique Corner with me, Daniel Parker.
And me, DB Fastbinder.
And if you are returning, welcome back. If you're new, what we do here is we critique stuff from our corners. Currently, we are working our way through free streaming platforms to see what's on there. Although we're focusing on Tubi because we tried Pluto and we didn't like Pluto.
Yeah, just not a well-made platform in our opinion.
No, it's not. So yeah,
especially on Xbox.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, and actually, I tried it again on Apple TV just out of curiosity to go back and see what's on there. And yeah, it's not very user friendly on Apple TV either. But yes, they need to do better, as they say. But yeah, so we're working our way through Tubi, and we've got a couple of very eclectic cult classics from the 80s. And to start us off, we're talking about Short Circuit.
We needed a hero, I guess.
Yes.
Although I think that song was featured in Short Circuit too.
It might have been, yeah. Tubi wanted me to watch Short Circuit 2 after watching Short Circuit 1.
That would be an awful lot of Short Circuit.
Yeah, well, yeah. One was plenty. Yeah. So Short Circuit is part of that genre of 80s movies it was basically a ET clone where you have a cute alien or a cute robot and
some sort of cute outsider.
Yes, and some sort of cute outsider, and they go off on adventures, and then the government wants to bring them in or bring them back, and
and our plucky hero / heroine / kid hero / heroine is responsible for saving the day and teaching them what it is to be human.
Yes. And in the case of this movie, you've got the robot named who's throughout the movie he's called Number 5. Although later on he gets called Johnny 5. And so basically the crux of the movie is there's this defense contractor called Nova that's developed these autonomous robots that kind of they're metal skeletal structure things and blinking big eyes.
They kind of make me think a lot of Rob the Nintendo robot.
Yes, very similar. Yeah. And so they developed them. Obviously it's a new weapon, and to defend American freedom and liberty around the world. And
hoorah, yada
hoorah, yeah, and this movie was definitely taking some pot shots at the presidential administration at the time. At least their doctrine,
which was at the style of the Perpetual.
Yes. But yeah, the robots were created by what was his name? Newton Crosby, who's played by Steve Guttenberg, and we all know who to blame for making him a star.
Lousy stonecutters.
Yeah. And of course he's of course also his assistant Ben, who's played by Fisher Stevens, and it should be noted that Fisher Stevens is Jewish,
not Indian.
He's not Indian. Yeah. Which you couldn't do that today. I mean, you can't even have a white guy voicing a Indian character on an animated TV show.
It did occur to me. I wonder if it's Harry Shearer who did Apu, right?
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria. Okay, knew it was one of those two. I have to wonder if Hank Azaria had watched this movie, because like the accent is like very, very similar.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. A couple of times at Tani sounded like a poo.
Uh, Now, I would say that that character's lines were probably the funniest because he basically just speaks in malapropisms.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's, um, I think my favorite line of his was, "She looks like she's a virgin, or at least she used to be." That one kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Especially in a PG rated movie.
Yeah, PG meant something very different in the 80s.
Yes, it did. Yeah. The other one that got me was so one of the characters is his name is Scroter, and he called him Scrotum.
Yep.
uh, but yeah, so basically the whole crux of the movie is they have these 5 robots, and right as number 5 is plugged in and getting charged, he gets struck by lightning and starts to gain sentience, which as a robot would if it got struck by lightning.
Right. I mean, over in Ukraine, they're constantly having to put down robot uprisings after a thunderstorm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It kind of reminded me of another 80s movie about robots that become sentient after being struck by lightning. It was called Chopping Mall.
It amuses me that there was like some 80s TV show where like the character's whole premise was that he had a computer in his brain with a whopping 4 megabytes of RAM or whatever. And I wonder, like, if they had actually ever given a number to Johnny's computing power, what they would have said it was.
Oh god, probably like 40 kilobytes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, another joke I remember about this, there was this webcomic I used to read called, I think it was called Keen Spot, or maybe that is Keen something.
yeah.
It's been 20 years. And 2 characters were talking about this comic strip or about this movie, and they asked, okay, so did the lightning bolt have a soul in it? What would have happened if that lightning bolt had struck a human? Would it have 2 souls?
Ooh. Yes.
But so anyways, like he gets hit by lightning, and so he kind of I forget, does he wander off on his own, or did he like get hauled off and fall off the truck?
He gets kind of he gets hauled away in very comedic fashion,
Mhm.
where like this like trash robot pushes him onto the trash
right.
truck, and then he falls off the trash truck, and
Right, ends up like near a barn.
right, yeah, and they're trying to recover him, and of course it doesn't work, and then he ends up falling off a bridge, and he ends up in the house of our heroine, Stephanie, who is played by Ali Sheedy, another fixture of 80s movies. She was in Breakfast Club. She was also Matthew Broderick's girlfriend in War Games, which, by the way, has the same director. And also he also directed Saturday Night Fever, which explains why they showed the clip from Saturday Night Fever in the movie. Yeah. But yeah, so we meet Stephanie. Stephanie loves animals and toxic men.
Yes, and like she's been on this little farm or this house with a farm on it for a while, and she's told, hey, we've been warning you, get away from get away, you have too many animals here. And she's apparently been dodging them for 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the movie takes place in Oregon, and I think it was filmed in Oregon, so that might explain a little bit of that.
Yeah, a little bit of the weirdness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she, after an initial, not a meet cute, a meet scary, I guess.
Yeah.
Followed by meet cute, she ends up befriending Johnny and teaching him what it's like to be human.
Yes, of course. At first, she thinks he's an alien.
And she is like, I thought they'd come for me.
Yeah. But then when she sees the tag for the Nova tag on him, she's like, "Oh, you're a robot." And then, of course, she doesn't like Nova because she's a peace loving
Yep, a peacenik.
The peacenik, and she doesn't like defense contractors. So yeah, but then so then the movie basically just goes off into this whole thing where she's got to protect Johnny from Nova, and then you got Steve Guttenberg's character who's finally leaving the lab after whatever it was, like 4 or 5 years.
Right. It was a weird detail that he was in the lab for so long that he forgot how to drive.
He's having a hard time with the stick shift, and and he always like breaks too soon.
Yep. It's I just realized that Fisher Stevens' character, Ben Jabbat Tuya.
Yeah.
What do you want to bet that Jabbat Tuya is not actually a real Indian last name?
Probably not. No. Let's just give him. What was the last name? Let's just make up something that sounds Indian. Okay.
Well, we'll make it like jab it to you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so from there, it's a very predictable sort of ET plot.
Yeah.
I would say that the strongest point of this movie was Johnny Five himself.
Yeah.
First off, the sheer so the way Johnny Five works is that he's a motorized tank tread base with a spindly body with surprisingly mobile arms, and his eyes are goggles that have these two slats that can, like, each eye has a eyebrow type slat that can, you can either completely cover the eyes or have like a near 360-degree range of motion.
Yeah.
So that he's more expressive than arguably Steve Guttenberg.
Yes. Yeah. He's clearly one of the best actors in the movie.
Yep. And his character type is like, he is a cartoon character who happens to be in a 3D movie.
Yeah.
Like he absorbs a lot of pop culture by watching TV literally all night to get input. Yes. It's like he's always like, he keeps making references to the Three Stooges, to John Wayne, to Saturday Night Fever, just like, and I would say it's like, quite often the joke is the fact that he made a reference.
Yeah.
Rather than it being necessarily tied to anything.
Right. Yeah. And and then of course, the physics of like how he like of his operating is just kind of like gets really, really sillier, I guess, or the rules don't really aren't really there. Or he starts breaking the rules, or
right, like he sometimes he has like a parachute that can hold his weight. He seems to be very light comparatively, considering some of the stuff he's able to pull off.
Yeah.
But like with 80s battery technology in particular, he should probably be able to move for about 5 minutes before needing a charge.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have lithium-ion batteries back then.
And even lithium-ion batteries wouldn't really like make a difference at that scale.
That's
especially
true,
especially as he's like running a high-end CPU. Like, well, yeah, we know how much electricity and water and stuff it takes just to run a primitive chatbot today.
Yeah, and how
mostly a mobile one.
Well, yeah, and how big like Tesla batteries are massive.
Yeah. So it's like his vision of robotics has not come to pass just yet.
Yeah.
But that is like an actual criticism. That's just amusing to think about, as we know a lot more today.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this it's I would say it's a cute movie. It's definitely something you could turn on, like if you've got young kids, well, maybe I would say probably like 7, 8 years old at the youngest.
Yeah, like I think that because there are some upsetting bits with robots getting hurt.
Yeah.
that a sensitive child might be bothered by. The other thing is that a lot of the saucier a lot of these saucier lines would probably fly over a kid's head.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Although they might have to ask, "Daddy, why would someone put his tongue down her throat?
Yeah.
How do you do that?"
Yeah. You'll find out when you get older.
Yeah. The otherwise, like, it's nothing to write home about on the plot. It's mostly that Johnny Five is a very charismatic character, and you can see why they made a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of curious what the box office was on this movie. Let's see. Well, I mean, decent enough that they. Okay, so it did $40 million on a budget of 15, so not bad.
This is probably one of those movies that where the real money was in VHS and cable.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure it was rerun all the time on HBO and TBS or
Yeah, I'd say that this is a movie that absolutely does not need a remake. First off, because it is basically just a copy of ET, just with a robot, just
yeah,
make your own version.
right, yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they don't need to do a remake of this.
It is amusing though, insofar as if Hollywood did the usual thing they do with remakes like this, you really couldn't accuse them of being more woke than the original.
That's true. Yeah. Oh man.
Considering that our main character wouldn't stand out at a typical protest rally.
Oh right. Yeah.
Main human character, I should say.
Yeah.
The other thing is that, like, I usually try to. I know that some of my opinions were at least warped slightly by Simpsons jokes growing up, but it's like, yeah, you know what? The reason that line exists in the Stonecutter song is that it is a little bit befuddling that Steve Guttenberg was seen as like a man, not a serious actor, but an actor who was worth bringing back over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. He was the Pedro Pascal of the 80s.
Yeah, you know what? You're kind of right.
Yeah. Yeah, but like our so like most of our movies that we've been reviewing lately, you can find this on Tubi, along with Short Circuit 2. Although I don't know if you would be so inclined to watch Short Circuit 2, but
Yeah. The other thing is that if you grew up on this movie, you already know whether or not you like it.
mm,
You probably have a decent time rewatching because there's like I would say probably the highlight of the movie is there's a bit where the other robots are sent to try to bring Johnny in.
yeah,
It's like him, and he decides he's a pacifist. Um, and so him having to deal with these robots who are shooting to kill while he has to try to maneuver them and keep them alive is interesting.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and there's a funny little bit there when he reprograms them. I won't spoil it, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's the highlight of the movie.
yeah,
Um, but sometimes a movie needs more than just one piece to be good.
yes.
Speaking of which, Two Piece, by which I mean One Piece season 2 on Netflix.
Yes. Yeah. So this is my solo review for the week. Finally got through. Finally got through watching new, season 2 of One Piece, the live action One Piece, not the anime.
Right. See, I don't think that season 2 of the anime is technically dropped yet, because due to a weirdness with how they have opted to, or how they structured the original anime, it's all been one season, 1,000 episode season.
Yeah. Whew. And however many volumes of the manga there have been.
Yep.
But yeah, so One Piece season 2 picks up where season 1 left off. You've got the Straw Hat Pirates, led by Monkey D. Luffy, they're off to go to the Grand Line to find the One Piece so that Luffy can become king of the pirates. And of course, he's got his crew, going from left to right. You got Sanji, who's the chef. You got Roronoa Zoro, who used to be a pirate hunter, but now he's a pirate. You got Nami, the thief turned navigator, and then Usopp, who's just
that's Usopp on the end. Okay.
Yeah, that's Usopp. Yeah, he was basically just he uses a slingshot and he likes to tell tall tales. So for this season, the first episode starts off in Lowtown, which is their last stop before going to the Grand Line. And it is of course, they happen to be in Lowtown on the anniversary of celebrating the execution of the old pirate king. I can't remember what his name was. Gold Roger. Yeah. So it's the anniversary of Gold Roger's execution. And of course, the whole thing there was Luffy wants to, actually go up there and see it. And of course, they all split up, and hijinks ensue when the new one of the new villains in the season. Well, okay, so there are two competing villains for this season. You've got what were they called? I can't remember. It starts with a B. This gang of pirate hunters. I can't remember their names. It starts with a B. I keep wanting to say the Bartmoss, something like that. But anyway,
sorry, you've exceeded as far as I got into One Piece.
Oh, okay. Well, one of them is actually Nico Robin, and so you've got them, and they all have code names. So like Nico Robin is called what was her name? All Day Wednesday, I think, or All Day Miss All Sunday. Yeah, they're either named after a day of the week or a number. And then of course you've got the Marines. Also have the Marines going after the Straw Hat Pirates, and the new Marine guy is Smoker, and he's this guy. He's got silver slick back white hair, and he is always smoking 2 cigars at the same time. And of course he and like Monkey D. Luffy, he too ate the devil fruit, and he can turn his body into smoke. So the hijinks ensue there, where they all they have this big fight, and villains from the previous season, like the clown guy, shows up.
Buggy the Clown.
Buggy the Clown, yeah, and then the pirate queen from the first episode, the fat lady, is there, and
is she still fat when she shows up?
Not as fat. I think the actress might have lost some weight, but she's still a little heavy. Yeah.
The reason I ask is that the character eventually, I thought this was an amusing bit when I did read this far in the manga. I guess I did read. I was reading this in like the Shonen Jump print magazines, so I wasn't reading every volume. But like, she eventually eats a devil fruit that makes her thin and like objectively sexy, but she thinks that her good looks were ruined.
Oh.
Oh man. So that's why I was curious. Just like, okay, did that happen yet?
Okay. But yeah, so they have this big fight, and of course they're also fighting the Marines, and just as Buggy the Clown is about to execute Luffy, Luffy is laughing, and Smoker sees that, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, he's laughing in the face of death. This is not good," because the whole thing with the One Piece is that all of these pirates all go off to the Grand Line to get the One Piece. Of course, all of them eventually fail, but then they meet Monkey D. Luffy, and they're like, "Oh, maybe he could be the one to find the One Piece," just because of how he is. And so so then they leave Lowtown, and then they eventually get into the Grand Line, and of course the rest of the show is basically very episodic, where usually, like, although each like arc is usually takes like 2 or 3 episodes, and they it's basically just them going through and meeting new people, and getting into all kinds of trouble, and and trying not to trying not to get into trouble with the pirate hunters or anything like that, and
or the Marines,
or the
or
Marines, yeah, yeah, and but like much like the first season, it's the I think what makes the show work, and a lot of people have other people have pointed this out, is it leans into the absurdity of the anime. It embraces the anime. It's not like the Cowboy Bebop live action that was like embarrassed by the fact that it's based on an anime. This is actually, they're embracing the absurdity of it, the character designs, the costumes, everything.
so I will say it is a rare case where, because I believe it's the same production staff as the Cowboy Bebop show, or at least some of the shared staff.
I think that's so, yeah, yeah.
So I think there's two things. One, it does actually show a willingness to admit fault and learn from previous mistakes. So you know what, uh, great job. It takes a lot of how to put it, it takes a lot of humility to be willing to do that, especially after some of the roasting they got online.
Right, yeah,
Um, the other thing is that I think One Piece lends itself up to a goofy. Because I don't think anybody's going to watch One Piece who wouldn't be interested in something kind of goofy and fun.
yeah,
Whereas, like, I could see an executive or even like the production staff going, Cowboy Bebop is a pretty serious story. Like, I think you can get adults to watch this who don't actually like anime. So let's see if we can appeal to them.
yeah.
Not a mistake they seem to have made here.
No, 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 that hasn't. And I will say that the actors play their parts really well. I mean, the guy playing Luffy is I mean, I think spot on. Um, and I will say, like, the actress playing Nami, I really like her. And a lot of people were making a big deal about that one scene where she's wearing a bikini. Like, that part lasts like 5 seconds. Where you see her in a bikini. Like, it's not very long. Like,
Look, the internet makes mountains out of molehill professionally.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a probably not as good as the first season, but I overall enjoyed it. Um, the only negative I will say is not the last episode, but the second to last episode was a little bit of a filler, because they go off to an island called it was from the what was it, the something kingdom. It's a cold island. I can't remember the name of. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the names of a lot of stuff lately. I mean, but it's the island where the king had the mechanical jaw.
Okay, I know that I've seen the character. That part I definitely haven't seen in anything.
Yeah. But in this one episode, but in this arc, that's where you meet Tony Chopper, who's he's the reindeer who when he's in his small form, he looks like a teddy bear.
Right, and he turns into a big buff guy.
Right. Yeah. We get his backstory, his sad backstory. And the other thing too, I want to mention, the doctor in their her name is the character's name, yeah, Dr. Kura, was played by Katie Seagal, who most people remember. She was Peg Bundy from Married with Children. She also voiced Leela on Futurama. So she's in there. She was really good.
That- okay, now that's a name I haven't heard for a while.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you watched the first season of One Piece, you probably watched this one too. But go check it out, and if you're so inclined, currently on Netflix. Hopefully, we won't have to wait another 3 years for season 3.
Yeah, that seems like they're kind of. I think they weren't ready for it to be a big deal the first time around. So because I mean, honestly, with the track record that a lot of these anime have, or anime
Yeah,
adaptations have.
yeah, that's true. But
Oh, I did have one question.
yeah,
So we're kind of looking at Usopp here head on.
yeah,
So first off, they did a little bit of Netflix casting with him.
yeah.
Um, but the biggest reason I didn't recognize him was because did they give him the big, super long nose in this one?
No, they didn't. He's got a normal nose.
That's so boring.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I understand the actor not wanting to wear a piece like that, but still.
Yeah. He has the whatever the goggles though. He wears those sometimes, but
I guess
no.
that's something.
Yeah. But he doesn't have a schnoz.
Okay. Well, I've lately been finding myself at a loss for transitions.
Yeah.
And I think this shall be no different. Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yes. The ultimate tough guy macho movie.
This is one of the more absurd movies we've seen for a bit.
Yes, it is. So if you're not familiar with this movie, it stars Patrick Swayze. But this is our third movie, the third movie we've reviewed with him. The other two being Ghost and Point Break. Although this movie was in between, this movie came out in between Dirty Dancing and Ghost. So at this point, Patrick Swayze was kind of like Leonardo DiCaprio after Titanic, where women just fell madly in love with him.
Right, he's just riding high.
Right, yeah, and so now he's in this movie playing Dalton, who's a bouncer, not just any bouncer. He's the best bouncer in the business. They make a point of saying that multiple times throughout the movie. And we first meet him at a bar in New York. We get a feel for him that he doesn't put up with a lot of crap, but at the same time, he doesn't like to fight unless he absolutely has to. So like in the opening scene, he's got these two guys who are real drunk, and they're holding him. The other bouncers are holding the guy back. He's like, "Oh, I can take you, Dalton." Of course, this is after the guy broke a beer bottle and scratched Dalton's arm. And he said, "Oh, I can take you." Like, all right. And Dalton's like, "All right, let's take it outside." So they go outside, and he's just like, "All right, bye."
Yep.
And so then Dalton is approached by a guy named what was his name? Trying to remember. Frank Tillman, who owns a bar in a town called Jasper, Missouri, which is right outside Kansas City. And he said he needs Dalton's help to clean the place up because it's real rough. And of course, Dalton's like, I want $5,000 up front and then $500 a night, and all of his medical expenses covered. And he's like, and you do whatever whatever I say goes. And like, okay. And sure enough, he gets there, and he starts making a lot of changes to the place because, yeah, it's a really rough rough bar.
Yeah, and I gotta say, they must be seriously overcharging for the drinks to be able to pay him $500 a night plus medical expenses and $80.
Yeah, yeah. Or the guy who owned the place must have been really loaded. But yeah, one of the great scenes of the movie is Dalton's talking to everybody, and he says, he gives his rules about, like, hey, don't fight in the bar unless you absolutely have to.
Right. Be nice. If he says your mother's a sucker, be nice.
Yes. Yeah. Be nice until it is time to not be nice. Like, well, how do we know when it's how do we know when it's not time to be nice? Like, I'll let you know.
Yep. And it's actually it's almost a variant of Seven Samurai / Magnificent Seven when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a town that's terrorized by a corrupt warlord. In this case, is basically what he would be in like feudal Japan. They bring in an outsider to try and protect them, and then it's the corrupt guy trying to crush the interloper.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and the bad guy in the movie, his name is the actor's name is Ben something, Ben Gazzara, and I remember him from The Big Lebowski. He played Jackie Treehorn, who was kind of like he was like a Hugh Hefner type guy, although actually he's basically playing the same character in both movies. Now that I think about it.
Maybe they even were this. No, never mind. They couldn't be the same
No,
character.
couldn't be the same. Yeah. But yeah, so you have that aspect going on, and then of course it wouldn't be a Patrick Swayze movie unless there was a romance subplot. And so he starts dating this doctor played by Kelly Lynch, and her uncle runs the auto parts store that's right next door to the bar. And so I got to mention this real quick. So there is a love scene in the movie, and Kelly, the actress Kelly Lynch, her husband is a writer, and he's really good friends with Bill Murray. And every time this movie would come on television, Bill Murray would be watching it, and he would call Kelly Lynch's husband up to say, "Hey, I'm watching TBS, and there's a scene in there with your wife and Patrick Swayze." Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, like the only thing that makes this movie bearable, and I forget if I said this before the show when we were sharing our thoughts, or if I've already said it. The only thing that makes this ridiculous plot, okay, it isn't so much ridiculous as it is thin, and it's a very and then plot.
Yeah.
Like the only through line is like the escalation because Swayze fired the bad guy's nephew. Bad guys trying to destroy the bar.
Yeah.
Because nobody messes with his family, and so it's just this constant ridiculous escalation.
Mm-hmm.
But is Patrick Swayze just taking this role so seriously?
Yeah.
Like not that the character is completely humorless, because the things like the be nice scene, like in character he was being a little bit funny.
Yeah.
But what I mean is that, like, in other scenes, there are lines that are read that would make me burst out loud laughing if I heard somebody say them in the way the other actors were saying them. But he keeps his cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and another character we got to mention is Sam Elliott's character, uh,
Wade Garrett,
Wade Garrett.
who's
Yeah,
basically Patrick Swayze's character, but 20 years older.
yeah,
Almost like a wandering samurai.
yeah, yeah. He even got
Just,
the
just,
hair
was
too.
just a bartender.
Yeah, yeah.
Or excuse me, bar
Bouncer. Yeah,
bouncer, excuse me. Just a
yeah,
bouncer.
yeah. And he's basically like a like a dad slash older brother to him. And the other thing too is we hear a little bit of Dalton's backstory that I guess he was working at a bar in Memphis, and he was having a relationship with a woman that he didn't know was married, and then the husband tried to shoot him, and Swayze just
Yep. It's like yeah, it's understandable that you'd be a little traumatized by that.
yeah.
But the movie is so melodramatic about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, this movie. I mean, I can see why it's on a lot of people's like schlocky action B movie lists, especially from the 80s. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Trying to think. Although I will say real quick though, with Dalton's methods, they actually do work, because I mean throughout the progression of the movie, the bar starts getting nicer and nicer, and the clientele starts getting a lot nicer, and the band can actually perform without the chicken wire in front of it.
Right, like in the first scene, like they're throwing beer bottles and smashing against the chicken wire.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he is a positive influence on the town overall.
Yeah.
Also, the villain, just a lot of his evil tree, if that's a word, evilness,
yeah,
is just absurd. Like I said, it's like
yeah.
like he's trying to put the screws to the town. He has a monster truck drive over all the cars at the auto shop.
Yeah.
And that final fight scene was hilarious, as they're fighting in the villain's mansion, and there's all these taxidermied animals around.
Yeah.
that lend themselves to a lot of absurd set pieces.
Yeah, yeah, and the one of the bad guys' henchmen is just one of the fattest guys I have ever seen. It's like you wouldn't hire that guy to be hired muscle. Come on.
All right, he's more of hired flab.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, currently this movie is on Tubi, although I saw on there that it said leaving soon. Oh, I don't know what that means, leaving soon, but
in a pinch, it's probably $5 to rent it on Amazon.
Yeah, yeah. It should be noted too that there was a direct-to-video sequel. It was called Roadhouse 2. I don't know who's in the movie, but I think it was about Swayze's son, who basically follows in his dad's footsteps, and I guess Swayze, Dalton died off camera, and the son's trying to find out who killed him. And then it was also remade for Amazon with Jake Gyllenhaal in the Dalton role. I don't know if that movie's any good or not.
I'm going to just put on my prediction hat and say no, considering that the original movie isn't really good.
Good. Yeah, it's
it's definitely so bad it's good.
Yeah.
It's one of those scripts like was it called After Dark, After Hours?
Oh yeah, the Scorsese movie. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, okay, somebody read this script. Somebody said, let's pick up the rights to this script. Somebody then said, let's film this script. Let's get a director for this script. If assuming that in the case of the Scorsese movie, that he wasn't responsible for it ultimately, right?
Yeah, right.
Like let's allocate money to film this script. And nobody at any point in the process said, "Am I taking crazy pills?"
Yeah.
This script is absurd.
It's a movie about a bouncer who knows Tai Chi, who cleans up a town.
And it treats bouncing like I don't know. I guess if you're getting into the bar business, you could ask around who the best
Yeah.
is, but like only a weird wanderer like Dalton would end up with a nationwide reputation for bouncing excellence, for lack
Yeah.
of a better phrase.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
It's a very silly movie, but it's like it it has like it has a lack of irony that you really don't get anymore.
Yeah.
Like you know that, in fact, okay, I would be unsurprised if at some point in the remake the irony of the situation wasn't pointed out.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Yeah. Given the way modern writers are. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. 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 This movie is what it is. You got to take it for what it is, and not,
yeah, like, I didn't have a bad time. I wasn't entirely on board with it for a large part of its run. But it definitely got way more interesting in like the back half
Oh yeah.
once the villain was fully in the plot.
Yeah. It
And
did. Yeah.
it also had like a bunch of little and a bunch of little storyline or not storylines, and a bunch of little pithy lines and one-liners and bon mots and whatnot that were kind of funny. It's like that made me laugh. Then I thought about it and I said, "Why me laugh?
Yeah.
Am I disabled?"
Yeah. Well, there's one line in there where when Swayze's fighting the main villain's henchman, the
Yes.
henchman says something to Swayze.
He,
I
he,
can't say it on
he,
YouTube,
he,
but it's like,
he,
what?
he said he has him grabbed from behind and he goes, "I used to essay guys like you in prison," except he
Yeah,
used the more direct word that the YouTube algorithm doesn't like.
yeah, like what? Like, okay.
Sure.
Ugh. 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 Well, he got what he deserved. Uh,
Indeed.
yeah, but I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.
I
On
think we do
that
too.
on that note, um, well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell. Link to DB's book is in the description down below, and we'll see you next week. Night, everybody.
Good night.